Every new day brings with it new fears and new hope. Today, the big concern is the fear of black fungus. What is black fungus that is infecting those who are already suffering from COVID-19 and even those who may have recovered from it? How can you stay safe from it, and why are suddenly cases of this black fungus ballooning across Maharashtra and Gujarat? What are its after effects and what do you need to watch out for? That's something that we are going to focus on, along with the new miracle cure that everyone is talking about, which has come from the DRDO, which reduces oxygen dependence and has also been known to hasten the recovery of serious COVID patients. All of that is going to be discussed next. Dr. Raghuraj Hegde, Consultant Ophthalmic Plastic Surgery Service, Department of Ophthalmology, Manipal Hospitals, is joining us from Bangalore. Dr. Akshay Nair, Oculoplastic Surgeon at Aditya Jyot, is also joining us along with the senior DRDO scientist. We are going to come across to Dr. Singh in just a bit. But first, talking about this black fungus, I want to start by asking you, Dr. Hegde, who is most susceptible to suffer from this black fungus? Is it a direct fallout of COVID-19?
So, mucormycosis is not a new disease. It has been known for quite some time. But in natural times, it doesn't infect the human tissue. But when the patient's immunity is reduced, in one way, when the blood sugars go skyrocketing, or when the body tissue's immunity itself reduces. So it is been known for quite some time that the COVID infection itself increases the blood sugars to very high levels. So when the blood sugar is at very high levels, there is the immunity, the body's defense mechanisms break down. So at that point, the body it creates an environment where the fungus can then germinate and then grow. So once it starts growing, it is quite relentless, where it starts with the nose first, and then occupies the sinuses, and then starts growing into the eye sockets, and then next, it's a matter of time before it reaches the brain. So it is
only something that afflicts Dr. Nair, is this something only that afflicts diabetes patient, or can anyone who is recovering or suffering from COVID be afflicted by this?
So I said most of the patients whom we have seen with mucormycosis almost always have had diabetes. So diabetes is the single biggest risk factor. But what we need to know is that even if you are not a diabetic before getting COVID, we are seeing patients who are now coming with elevated blood sugar levels after having contracted COVID. So just because you didn't have diabetes earlier doesn't mean you're safe. You need to make sure that your blood sugar levels, even after having recovered from diabetes, remain under control, especially if you've received steroids as a part of the course of treatment for COVID.
Okay, what are the first symptoms that one could be suffering from this?
So one of the first things that people come across is stuffiness of the nose, frequent nose blockages. There is a dull pain around the cheek area and possibly dental pain. This progresses to a pain on any one side of the face, swelling on any one side of the face, and possibly black patchy discoloration on the face. As Dr. Hegde said, it then grows into the eye. So you start losing your vision, you see double, and you have drooping of the eyelid, limited motility, movement of the eye is restricted, and finally loss of vision, beyond which it is now then progressing into the brain. And once it goes into the brain, the survival is in that group of patients with mucormycosis in the brain is very dismal. Less than 20 to 30% of the patients with mucormycosis in the brain survive.
Dr. Hegde, why are we seeing this sudden proliferation of cases of black fungus? We hadn't heard of this in the first wave. Suddenly, why are there so many cases, and suddenly why so many around Maharashtra and Gujarat?
Actually, even in the first wave, even in Bangalore, as the first wave was ebbing away from September to December, we were seeing increase in upsurge in mucormycosis cases. From my own personal experience, I had seen about 17 cases in the 3 months or so. But after the first wave subsided, it reduced in. It almost stopped to a standstill. And again, in the past 2 weeks, it has been relentless, and it has been a very high number. I've seen about 22 cases in the last 2 weeks itself. So the numbers are expected to go higher in the next couple of months.
So how do we guard against it, Dr. Nair? What are the basic precautions that one needs to take?
So first thing, like I mentioned, if you're a diabetic, you need to be cognizant of that and make sure your blood sugar levels are normal. If you're a diabetic who's had recent COVID or has had steroids as a part of their treatment for COVID, you need to be even more vigilant against blood sugar level fluctuations. And the earliest sign of the the list of symptoms that I just mentioned earlier, at any of the earliest signs of these, you should get yourself checked by either an ear, nose, throat specialist, an ENT surgeon, or an ophthalmologist, an eye surgeon. But maintaining normal blood sugar levels, especially for diabetics, and making sure that you are very, very aware of these symptoms is necessary. I'm not saying every diabetic who's never had COVID also should be alarmed, but we are seeing these typically in diabetics who've had COVID.
Dr. Hegde, is it possible for somebody who's even recovered from COVID to suddenly develop black fungus?
Yes, in this way, particularly, we are seeing the mucormycosis occurring even in the second week of COVID illness. So it is this time it is more aggressive, and it is presenting much earlier. So in the first 2 to 3 weeks post recovery is very crucial. And during that time, the blood sugars need to be carefully monitored so that it is under manageable levels. The moment the blood sugars, it's the common thread that we are seeing, and we're discussing among all colleagues in various parts of the country, is that the common thread is the blood sugars. So once the blood sugar is not in is not in control, it's that the mucormycosis starts growing on the sinuses.
Dr. Nair, what are the percentage of cases where you've had to, where the patient perhaps has to lose an eye or has been left maimed, and what are the percentage of cases where the patient recovered with minimal damage to his or her organs, especially the eye?
Yeah, so broadly speaking, I'm going to say the mortality itself has been in this second wave has been in the range of 25 to 35%, which means that there's a straight 1/3 of the patients who are not making it alive. And of the remaining 65 to 70% who are actually making it alive unscathed, most of them are, almost all of them have to be have an eye that has to be removed. We are seeing the earlier cases that who come in early, at the earliest signs where the disease has not yet gone into the eye, are the ones that our ENT surgeon colleagues are able to treat by operating aggressively and removing all the infected fungus. So that remains a small fraction. In most cases, as it is, hospitals are swamped with COVID-related work. So by the time a patient reaches, is being seen by an ENT specialist, gets his scans done. Like now, scans are being done on a priority basis for COVID patients. Remember, the first screening for any patient who is suspected with mucormycosis is a CT scan, whereas also the first scan that is done for a patient with suspected COVID is also a CT scan of the chest. So obviously, COVID gets priority at this stage. So there is a lot of delay that happens by the time the patient reaches a position where they can get effective treatment, which means that a significant chunk of them ends up undergoing surgery and possible surgery to remove their eye as well.
And which is why I want to, the next question is the biggest issue that people are facing at this time, Dr. Hegde, is that all non-essential surgeries have been cancelled. Hospitals, a lot of them have been turned exclusively into COVID care centers. Should an exception be made for mucormycosis, where it is treated as one of the side effects of COVID and is treated or operated upon on priority?
Yes, we are already prioritizing we are prioritizing mucormycosis, and we are operating it on an urgent basis. Since since they are COVID negative by the time most of the patients are COVID negative by the time they have mucormycosis, they are admitted in our non-COVID beds. And then we are treating them, as well as surgery, as well as the medical treatment also starts simultaneously. So we are treating them at our hospital on priority basis and on urgent basis, because there is hardly any time before the infection progresses, and it is quite fast. Within hours to in a couple of days, it can go all the way into the eye as well as the brain. So we are already prioritizing.
Okay, my final question. My final question, Dr. Nair, very quickly, I want to try and get in one more question before I bring in Dr. Singh as well. If a patient or a patient's relative notices fungal growth of that kind, how soon do they need to get it operated upon before things get really serious? Because the mortality is also quite high. It's quite question. Infectious. What is the period?
The answer is before you can finish that question. If you see fungus at the nose, you've already waited long enough. So as soon as possible is the answer.
Okay, well, you have your answer then. Thank you very much, both Drs. Hegde and Dr. Nair, for having joined me. Thanks very much for joining me here.
Thank you.
Thank you.